Rain hammered the cracked pavement as Malik Turner stepped out of the corner grocery, the cold night air sticking to his skin like a warning. He pulled his hoodie tighter, grocery bag swinging gently at his side. It should have been an ordinary walk home. Quiet, uneventful. But the moment he turned the corner, red and blue lights exploded across his face. A police cruiser lurched to a stop. Officer Derek Slater stepped out, broad shoulders, jaw clenched, eyes burning with a kind of authority that didn't need justification. Malik had seen that look before. Every black man in this town had. "Hey!" Slater barked, already advancing, hand hovering near his baton. "Where do you think you're going?" Malik swallowed. "Home. Just got groceries." Slater's gaze narrowed, lingering too long on Malik's skin, his clothes, his very existence. "That so?" Slater stepped closer, boots splashing through puddles. "Funny. You look real nervous for someone just going home." Malik breathed slowly, careful not to move too fast. "I'm fine. Just trying to." Slater snatched a grocery bag and slammed it onto the hood, eggs bursting, milk leaking like spilled innocence. "Don't lie to me." His voice dropped, low and venomous. "People like you always got something to hide." Malik felt his pulse spike. The street was empty. Windows closed. No witnesses. "Please," he whispered. Slater's baton lifted. Slow, deliberate, inevitable. One line sliced through the wet night. "You're in the wrong neighborhood, boy." Malik's breath hitched, and just before the baton came down, a voice echoed from behind them, a voice Malik recognized instantly. "Officer, what exactly do you think you're doing?" The baton froze midair. Malik turned, and his world changed. The rain didn't stop. It came down in sheets, heavy enough to blur the streetlights and soak Malik Turner through his hoodie. His steps were slow, careful, the kind of walk a black man learned early, measured, non-threatening, deliberate. He just wanted to get home. Then the cruiser swung around the corner. Malik froze as the headlights washed over him. The tires hissed on wet asphalt. A second later, the door slammed open and Officer Derek Slater stepped into the glow. "Hey!" Slater shouted. "Stop right there." Malik swallowed hard. "Evening, officer." "What are you doing out here?" Slater demanded, closing the distance. His hand sat too comfortably on his baton. "Just got groceries," Malik said. "Heading home." Slater snatched the dripping plastic bag from Malik's hand and slammed it onto the hood of the cruiser. Milk burst, eggs cracked, bread flattened. "Looks suspicious to me," Slater muttered. Malik took a breath. "It's just food." Slater moved closer. "You got ID?" "Yeah, in my wallet." "Slow," Slater warned. Malik reached for his back pocket with steady hands. Slater grabbed his wrist halfway. "Too slow," Slater hissed. "You trying to be funny?" "No, just doing what you asked." Slater's grip tightened, pain shooting up Malik's arm. Malik clenched his jaw but didn't pull away. "People like you always think you can talk your way out," Slater said, voice dripping with contempt. "Think you can act innocent." "I am innocent," Malik managed. Slater's eyes hardened. "Not tonight." He shoved Malik against the cruiser, the metal cold against his cheek. Malik's breath came out sharp. "Why are you doing this?" Malik said quietly. Slater leaned close, breath hot with anger. "Because I can." Malik felt a surge of panic. "Please." "Shut up." Slater stepped back, lifting his baton. Malik flinched. "Officer, I didn't." "You're in the wrong neighborhood, boy." The words sliced through him like a blade. Malik closed his eyes. He braced himself. But the strike didn't land. A calm, steady voice cut through the rain. "Officer, what exactly do you think you're doing?" Malik opened his eyes. Someone stood a few feet away, umbrella in hand, dressed too neatly for this neighborhood. The man's posture was straight, shoulders squared, confidence radiating off him like heat. Slater didn't lower the baton. "Who the hell are you?" "Someone who saw enough," the man said evenly. Slater sneered. "Keep walking. This doesn't concern you." "It does," the man replied. "I saw you assault a citizen." Slater barked a humorless laugh. You want to file a complaint? Go ahead. Won't go far. The stranger stepped closer, put the baton down. Slater hesitated, tiny but visible. Malik watched the exchange, breath caught in his throat. You interfering. Slater growled. I'm intervening, the stranger said. There's a difference. Slater clenched his jaw but slowly lowered the baton. Fine, Slater spat. Take your little friend and get out of here. Malik pushed off the cruiser, arm throbbing. The stranger moved beside him. You okay? He asked quietly. Malik nodded stiffly. I'm fine. Slater watched him like a predator denied a meal. The stranger ignored him. You hurt anyway? I said I'm fine. Doesn't look like it. Malik sighed. Thanks. Whoever you are. The man offered a faint smile. Just a concerned citizen. Malik narrowed his eyes. Right. The stranger didn't answer. Across the street, Slater leaned against the cruiser, arms folded, gaze locked on Malik. A warning. A promise. Malik shivered, not from the cold. What's your name? Malik asked. The man paused. Marcus. That it? For now. Malik frowned. You always show up to stop cops from beating people. Only when necessary. The tension lingered, thick as a rain. Slater revved the cruiser engine, still staring. Malik looked toward home, then back at Marcus's unreadable expression. Why were you even here? Malik asked. Marcus offered no explanation, and Malik realized something unsettling. This stranger wasn't done with him. Not even close. Malik pushed the front door open with his shoulder, trying not to let the tenderness in his ribs show. The house was dim, quiet except for the soft hum of the refrigerator. He hoped to slip in unnoticed. Malik? His sister's voice came from a hallway. That you? He cursed under his breath. Yeah, just got in. Jada stepped into view, arms crossed, eyes sharp enough to cut glass. You're soaked. Her gaze dropped to his wrist, already swelling. What happened? Nothing, he muttered. Just slipped. She raised a brow. On what? The truth. Malik sighed and set the ruined grocery bag on the counter. Jada, I'm not in the mood. Good, she said, stepping forward. Because I am. What really happened? He didn't answer. He peeled off his wet hoodie instead, wincing when the fabric brushed his bruised shoulder. Jada's voice softened. Malik, who did this? He hesitated. Silence stretched between them like a rope pulled too tight. She knew. Of course she knew. It was Slater, he whispered. Jada's breath hitched, then her face hardened. Again? Malik, again. He came out of nowhere, Malik said, keeping his voice low. Lights flashing. Questions. He grabbed me before I could even. No, she snapped, shaking her head. I'm done hearing this. I'm done watching you come home bleeding because some racist officer thinks terrorizing black men is a hobby. Malik looked away. I didn't want to worry you. Well, congratulations, she said bitterly. I'm worried. He leaned against the counter, exhaustion settling into his bones. It's just how this town is. No, Jada said firmly. It's how that cop is. Malik didn't argue. The ache in his ribs flared when he breathed too deep. Jada stepped closer and studied his face. There's more. I can see it. He hesitated, then nodded. A guy stepped in, stopped Slater. Her eyes widened. A guy? Who? No idea, Malik said. Name's Marcus. And you trust him? No, but he helped. Jada bit her lip. Maybe he is with one of those watchdog groups. Maybe. Malik didn't sound convinced. She pointed at his wrist. Sit. Ice first, then we figure out what to do. I'm not calling anyone. You're not the one deciding that, she said, already moving toward the freezer. He groaned. Jada. Malik, she interrupted, softer this time. I don't want to bury you. I'm not exaggerating. He closed his eyes. She pressed an ice pack into his hand. Hold it. He did. After a long pause, Jada said quietly. You ever think about leaving this place? All the time, he said. But leaving doesn't fix anything. It fixes you being on the receiving end of Slater's rage. Malik shook his head. If I run, he wins. Jada didn't argue, but a silence said everything. Across town, in a cramped office lit by a single overhead lamp, Officer Derek Slater typed aggressively into his report system. Subject observed behaving suspiciously near closed businesses. Subject resisted questioning. Subject appeared agitated and possibly under influence. He smirked as he typed. Force was applied as necessary to maintain officer safety. He clicked submit with satisfaction. Anyone reading the report would believe him. They always did. Slater leaned back in his chair, annoyed by the memory of Marcus's interruption. Some outsider sticking his nose where it didn't belong. He muttered, Who does he think he is? A knock on the door. Another officer poked his head in. Everything good, Slater. Peachy, Slater said. You need backup for that situation earlier. Slater smirked. Nah, guy wasn't worth the paperwork. He didn't mention Marcus. No reason to stir trouble until he knew exactly who that man was. Back at home, Malik sat at the table, ice pack melting in his hand. Jada cleaned up the smashed groceries, muttering under her breath. You shouldn't have to live like this, she said. I know. You shouldn't have to be scared walking home. I wasn't scared. She shot him a look. Fine, Malik said. I was scared. Jada exhaled, her shoulders loosening. Thank you for being honest. He stared at the dripping ice pack. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Okay, she said, but we're not ignoring it. He didn't respond. The clock ticked loudly in the silence. Jada finally sat across from him. Tell me about this Marcus guy. Malik shrugged. Well-dressed, calm, confident. Talked to Slater like he wasn't scared of him. That's unusual. No kidding. What did he say after? Just asked if I was okay. Jada studied him. You think he knew Slater would go after you? No idea, Malik said. But something about him felt off. Off how? Malik tried to find the words. Like he wasn't just some random guy walking by. Jada's eyes narrowed. Maybe he works with the governor's office or something. Malik laughed once, humorless. Right. Why would someone like that be in our neighborhood? I don't know, she said. But you don't show up to confront a cop unless you know the system can't touch you. Malik didn't reply. The thought lingered far longer than he liked. Jada squeezed his hand gently. We'll figure it out. But you're not alone in this. For the first time that night, Malik let himself breathe. But miles away, Marcus Reed ended a phone call with a quiet sigh, rubbing his temples. Yeah, he said into the receiver. I saw him. And no, I didn't tell him who I am. A pause. Yes, I know what my brother will say. He hung up. The storm outside continued, restless and unending. And Malik Turner had no idea how deeply his life had just been pulled into someone else's shadows. Morning light spilled through Malik's curtains like an unwelcome reminder of everything he wanted to forget. His ribs still throbbed, his wrist stiff, and his mind replayed Slater's voice on loop. He tried to push it away as he got dressed, but pain pulled him back to reality with every movement. He stepped into the hallway. Jada stood at the stove flipping eggs, pretending not to watch him. You going to work? She asked. Yeah. You sure that's smart? No, he said honestly. But I'm going. She nodded once, jaw tight. Be careful. He gave a half smile. Always. Outside, the neighborhood stirred awake. Kids running, old men sweeping porches, buses hissing to a stop. Normal life kept moving, even when he felt stuck. As he walked toward the community center, whispers followed him. Two teens on bikes slowed down. Yo, that's him, one muttered. Slater messed with him again. The other shook his head. Man, that cop hates us. Malik kept his eyes forward. He didn't need pity. He didn't need fear. He just needed to breathe. Inside the community center, fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Malik clocked in and headed toward the gym where he ran after-school programs. His co-worker, Denise, spotted him from across the room. "Malik, what happened to your face?" He touched the bruising beneath his eye. "Had a run-in with Slater." "Again?" she whispered, glancing around. "You got to file a report." "No point," Malik said. Denise shook her head. "Point or not, this isn't normal." Before he could respond, the door creaked open. Officer Slater walked in. The room shifted. Conversation stopped. Denise stiffened. Slater scanned the space until his gaze landed on Malik. A slow, predatory smile spread across his face. "There you are," Slater said, voice echoing off the gym walls. Malik exhaled slowly. "This is a community center. You need something." Slater approached, boots loud on the hardwood floor. "Just checking in. Heard there were some disturbances last night." Denise stepped between them. "Officer, unless you have a warrant or official business." Slater cut her off. "Relax. I'm here to make sure everything's safe." "Terrorizing staff isn't safety," she said sharply. Slater's eyes narrowed. "You want to watch your tone." Denise didn't back down. "Or what?" Slater shifted his focus back to Malik. "You should keep your friends calm. Wouldn't want rumors spreading." Malik met his glare. "Like the lies in the report you filed." Slater's smile dropped. "Careful." "Why?" Malik asked. "Someone might actually listen this time." Slater stepped closer, close enough that Malik smelled a faint scent of coffee and anger. "You think that guy from last night can protect you?" Malik frowned. "What do you mean?" Slater chuckled. "Come on. You think I don't know when someone important sticks their nose in my business? I'm already asking around." Denise moved again, voice steady. "You need to leave." Slater leaned past her, eyes locked on Malik. "Watch yourself. I don't like being embarrassed." He turned and walked out, leaving the room heavy with tension. Denise let out a breath. "This isn't going to stop." "I know," Malik said quietly. She touched his shoulder gently. "If you need anything, you tell me." "I will." But he didn't believe he would. Later that afternoon, Malik stepped outside to get fresh air. The sky was clear, but the weight in his chest was heavier than the storm from the night before. "Rough morning." Malik turned. Marcus Reed leaned against a lamppost, hands in his pockets, coat neatly pressed like he'd stepped out of a boardroom. Malik stiffened. "You followed me?" "No," Marcus replied, "but I came by to check on you." "Why?" Marcus hesitated. "Because I saw something last night I couldn't ignore." "You don't even know me." "Maybe not," Marcus said, "but that doesn't matter." Malik studied him. "Who are you really?" Marcus gave a small smile. "A man who doesn't like abusive power." "That doesn't answer anything." Marcus didn't flinch. "I can't give details yet." "Yet," Malik repeated. There it was again, that edge of mystery, of authority. The way Marcus spoke, measured and deliberate, reminded Malik of someone used to people listening. Marcus glanced around. "Did Slater bother you today?" "Yes," Malik said. "He came into my workplace just to intimidate me." Marcus's expression darkened, but he kept his tone even. "I'm sorry." "You didn't cause it," Malik said. "Slater's always been like this." "But last night may have pushed him," Marcus said quietly. "Men like him don't handle being challenged." Malik folded his arms. "So why challenge him?" "Because someone had to," Marcus said simply. Malik shook his head. "There's more to this. I can feel it." Marcus didn't deny it. "You will know soon enough." Malik stepped closer. "Look, if you're trying to help, fine. But don't play games with me. I've had enough of that from the system." Marcus held his gaze. "I understand." "Do you?" Malik pressed. "Because dealing with racist cops isn't a game. It's daily survival." Marcus's expression softened. "You're right." A beat passed. Malik exhaled. "I appreciate you stepping in. I do, but I need the truth." "You'll have it," Marcus said. "Just not today." Malik looked away, frustrated. "Then why are you here?" "To tell you something important," Marcus said. "What?" Marcus glanced toward the street. Then back at him. Slater's being watched. Not just by me. Malik's heart skipped. What does that mean? It means the storm is bigger than you realize. Malik frowned, but Marcus didn't explain further. Instead, he stepped back. Stay safe, Malik. Before Malik could respond, Marcus walked away, disappearing into the steady flow of afternoon traffic like he'd never been there at all. That evening, as Malik closed up the community center, he paused at the front desk. A co-worker whispered to another, "They say the department's under review." Because of Slater? No idea, but someone high up is asking questions. Malik's stomach tightened. A town built on lines was shifting, and Malik Turner was stuck right in the middle. The night air felt heavier than usual, thick with a kind of silence that made Malik's skin prickle. He locked the community center door and tucked his hands into his pockets. The street lights flickered in uneven intervals, casting long shadows that twisted across the pavement. He told himself it was just another walk home. He didn't believe it. Halfway down the block, he heard footsteps behind him. Slow, purposeful. Malik didn't turn around. "I'm not in the mood, Slater." A laugh, cold and sharp, sliced through the darkness. "Good, because I am." Malik stopped. When he toned, Officer Derek Slater stepped out from behind a parked car, hands loose at his sides, eyes glinting like he'd been waiting for this moment all day. "No witnesses this time," Slater said. "Perfect." Malik took a step back. "I don't want trouble." "You are trouble," Slater replied. "Ever since last night. You think that fancy friend of yours scares me." "I don't even know him," Malik said. Slater scoffed. "Liar. He talks like someone important. Someone who needs to mind his own business." Malik exhaled. "Just leave me alone." Slater moved closer. "You embarrass me. In front of a stranger. You think I'm gonna let that slide?" Malik kept his voice steady. "You attacked me first." Slater's jaw tightened. "And I'll do it again." Before Malik could react, Slater grabbed his collar and yanked him forward. Malik stumbled, nearly falling. "Stop," Malik said, trying to pry his hand free. "You're making this worse." Slater slammed him against the wall. Pain exploded across Malik's back. "Worse!" Slater growled. "You haven't seen worse." He drove a fist into Malik's ribs. Malik choked on a gasp, knees buckling. Slater stepped back only long enough to let Malik catch half a breath before swinging again, this time hitting his jaw. Malik collapsed to the ground. He tasted blood. "Look at you," Slater spat. "Acting all tough earlier." Malik shielded his face. "Why are you doing this?" "Because people like you never learn," Slater said. "You walk around like you belong everywhere." "I do belong," Malik managed. Slater kicked him in the stomach. Malik curled into himself, coughing violently. "You belong under control," Slater said. "Under me." Malik's vision blurred. He forced out a single shaky word. "Help?" Slater leaned down, gripping Malik's chin painfully. "Nobody's coming. Nobody ever does." A sudden voice shattered the lie. "Get your hands off him." Slater stiffened. Malik forced his eyes open. Marcus Reed stood across the street, his expression sharper than Malik had ever seen it. His coat blew in the wind, and his eyes were burning with something far more dangerous than anger, authority. Slater straightened slowly. "You again!" Marcus stepped forward. "Walk away." Slater laughed. "I don't take orders from civilians." Marcus didn't blink. "And I don't repeat myself." Something in his tone made Slater pause. "Who are you?" "Someone you should be very careful with." Slater's lip curled. "This is police business." "Assaulting an unarmed man alone in the dark." Marcus asked, "Is that what you'd call police business?" Slater clenched his fists. He resisted. "I watched from the moment you stepped out," Marcus said. He didn't resist anything. Slater stiffened, calculation flickering across his face. "You spying on me now?" "I'm witnessing crime." Malik groaned, drawing both of their attention. Marcus moved quickly, kneeling beside him. "Malik, can you hear me?" Malik nodded weakly. "Why, yeah." Slater pointed aggressively. Back away from him. Marcus didn't move. You've done enough. Slater pulled out his radio. I'll call this in. Self-defense. Marcus stood slowly. Think very carefully before you lie again. Slater's breathing grew uneven. Why do you care so much? Who are you? Marcus took a single step closer. His voice dropped to a controlled, terrifying calm. You'll find out soon enough. Slater flinched. Actually flinched. For a moment, just a moment, the balance of power shifted, and Slater felt it. He pointed at Malik. This isn't over. No, Marcus said quietly. It's not. Slater backed up, glaring, then disappeared into the darkness the way he came. Marcus knelt again, steadying Malik. Easy. Don't try to stand. I'm fine, Malik whispered, though every bone screamed otherwise. You're not fine, Marcus said. You need a hospital. Malik shook his head. Don't want to deal with police again. You won't. I'll handle it. That's what scares me, Malik murmured. Marcus looked at him, something unspoken in his eyes. I should have followed him sooner. That's my fault. Malik frowned through the pain. Why are you involved in this? Because Slater crossed a line, Marcus said, and because you matter more than you realize. Malik stared at him, confused. Marcus helped him stand, supporting most of his weight. Come on, hospital first. As they walked, Malik whispered, Tell me who you are. Marcus hesitated, jaw tightening. Soon. That's not an answer. I know, and I'm tired of not knowing. Marcus exhaled slowly. Just trust me for tonight. Malik didn't respond. He didn't have the strength. As Marcus guided him toward the waiting car parked under a flickering street lamp, Malik felt a cold realization settle in his gut. Whatever world Marcus belonged to, Malik had just been dragged into it, and there was no going back. Malik lay in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling tiles as if they were pieces of a puzzle he couldn't solve. Machines beat steadily beside him. His ribs ached, his jaw throbbed, and every breath reminded him of Slater's boots and fists. Jada sat in the chair beside him, leg bouncing uncontrollably. I swear, Malik, I swear if they let that man walk. Don't, Malik whispered. I can't talk about him right now. Jada leaned forward. Then talk about the guy who brought you here. Marcus, why was he even there? Malik shook his head slowly. I don't know. You trust him? I don't know that either. Before she could push further, the door opened. Marcus Reed entered quietly, a clipboard in one hand, his expression unreadable. Jada stood immediately. You. Marcus nodded politely. Ms. Turner. Don't MS Turner me, she said. Who are you? Why were you following my brother? Malik winced. Jada. No, she said. We're not doing this. He's hurt again. You keep showing up at the exact moment Slater loses his mind. That's not coincidence. Marcus stepped closer to the bed. You're right. It's not. Malik's eyes sharpened. So tell us the truth. Marcus looked at him, long enough that Malik felt exposed. Finally, Marcus sighed. I didn't want to complicate things. But after last night, you deserve some honesty. Jada folded her arms. Start talking. Marcus looked between them. I'm not a watchdog volunteer. I'm not a random bystander. I came to this town because of ongoing concerns about the police department, Slater in particular. Malik frowned. So you're with internal affairs? No, Marcus said. State investigator. Jada asked. Marcus hesitated. Something close. Jada narrowed her eyes. You're not being straight with us. Malik rubbed his temples. I'm tired, Marcus. Please, no more riddles. Marcus lowered his voice. There are things in motion right now, Malik. Investigations, reviews, sensitive matters. If I say too much before the timing is right, everything could collapse. Jada scoffed. That sounds like a politician's answer. Marcus exhaled heavily. I understand how it sounds. Malik stared at him. You act like someone with power. Marcus went still. And people with power Malik continued, don't usually walk neighborhoods at night confronting abusive cops. Marcus didn't deny it. Before more could be said, a nurse entered. We need to run vitals. Jada shot Marcus a warning glare before stepping aside. Marcus took the hint and quietly exited the room. Later that afternoon, Malik shuffled through the hallway with Jada's help. He needed just a few minutes outside. The hospital garden was small, but quiet. 2 hospital staff members stood nearby, whispering under a tree. You hear about the police review, one said. Yeah. Supposedly someone from the governor's office is involved. Malik stopped. Jada's eyes widened. Governor's office. The other nurse nodded. My cousin works at City Hall. Says they are freaking out. Someone high up is asking questions about Slater and a bunch of older complaints. Why now? The first nurse asked. No idea, but rumor is someone important got personally involved. Malik's breath hitched. Jada whispered, Malik, Marcus. He swallowed hard. It can't be. But something inside him, a small click of realization, said otherwise. Before he could process it, Marcus appeared at the garden entrance, hands in his coat pockets. Jada crossed her arms. So, governor's office. Marcus's expression didn't change. You're hearing rumors. Rumors that point straight at you, she said. Marcus looked at Malik. How are you feeling? Malik's voice was tired. Just answer, huh? A long silence. Marcus finally stepped closer. I didn't want you to find out this way. Jada scoffed. Find out what? Marcus took a breath. I'm connected to the governor's office. Yes. How connected? Malik asked quietly. Marcus didn't blink. Directly. Jada's eyes widened. You work for him. Marcus hesitated. Not exactly. Then what exactly? Malik asked. Marcus looked him in the eye. I advise him on certain issues. Jada threw her hands up. Oh, so we're dealing with a politician. Marcus ignored the jab. Slater's behavior reached the wrong ears. That's why I was in this town. I wasn't supposed to make contact with anyone. But when I saw him assaulting you, I couldn't stay silent. Malik's chest tightened. So this isn't about me. It's about an investigation. You matter, Marcus said firmly. More than you know. Jada glared. And what are we? Leverage? Evidence? Marcus shook his head. No, you're people who deserve safety. That's why this review is happening, not because of politics. Malik frowned. Then why not tell us from the start? Because timing matters, Marcus said, and because revealing connections too early puts people at risk. Jada stepped between them. And what risk are we in now? Marcus hesitated. Slater is scared. Desperate men make dangerous choices. Malik's heartbeat quickened. He's coming after me again. Marcus didn't answer, which was answer enough. Malik sat heavily on the bench. I just want my life back. Marcus knelt beside him. You will. How? Malik asked, voice cracking. Every day feels like a fight. Every night feels like a threat. What am I supposed to do? Wait for politics to save me? Marcus's voice softened. No, you're supposed to survive long enough for justice to catch up. Malik looked away, eyes burning. Jada placed a hand on Malik's shoulder. We'll get through this. Marcus stood. I'll update you soon. And Malik, please stay somewhere safe tonight. Where? Malik asked. Marcus hesitated. Anywhere with people around. Slater won't try anything public. Malik looked up sharply. Won't try. Marcus's jaw clenched. Just be careful. He walked away before either of them could ask more. Jada exhaled shakily. Governor's office. Marcus, what the hell is happening? Malik stared at the garden path, the pieces of a puzzle falling slowly into place. Something big was unfolding. Something dangerous. And somehow, he was at the center of it. The hospital discharged Malik the next morning with pain medication, a warning about overexertion, and a look of sympathy from the doctor that made Malik feel smaller than he wanted to admit. Jada drove him home slowly, avoiding bumps in the road, her fingers gripping the steering wheel too tight. You should rest, she said. Rest won't solve anything, Malik replied softly. You were beaten half to death. And that's the problem, Malik said. Slater gets to walk around like nothing happened. Jada didn't argue. They both knew the fight wasn't over. When they reached home, neighbors lingered outside, pretending to water plants, pretending to get the mail. But their eyes landed on Malik. Concern, curiosity, fear, a story spreading without a single word spoken. Jada helped him inside, but before he could settle on the couch, someone knocked. Jada peeked through the curtain and tensed. It's him. Marcus Reed stood on the porch, hands clasped behind his back, posture formal, almost tense. Jada opened the door but didn't step aside. You better not have bad news, she said sharply. Marcus shook his head. Not bad, but important. Can I come in? Jada looked at Malik. Malik nodded tiredly. Let him. Marcus stepped inside, closing the door gently behind him. Malik could see something different in him, an intensity, like he was preparing for something heavy. Marcus exhaled. There's about to be a press conference. Jada frowned. About what? About Slater, Marcus said. About the police department. And about last night. Malik felt his pulse quicken. How public? Statewide. Jada crossed her arms. And let me guess, your office is behind it. Marcus paused. Yes. Malik leaned forward despite the pain. Tell us everything. No more hiding. Marcus nodded slowly, then pulled out his phone. He tapped it, and the screen lit up with a live stream from the state capitol. A podium stood framed by the state flag. Reporters filled the room. The banner on the screen read, Governor addresses police misconduct investigation. Jada's eyes widened. The governor is talking about this. Marcus lowered the volume. He has too. The situation escalated beyond local control. And he hesitated. Malik held his breath. And what? Marcus finally turned to him. Malik, I wasn't honest with you. Jada threw up her hands. Shocker. Marcus didn't react. His expression stayed solemn. I don't work for the governor. Malik frowned. But you said... I advise him, Marcus said. Directly. Not as an employee. As family. Jada's voice cracked. Family. Malik whispered. Marcus, what are you saying? Marcus swallowed hard. The governor is my older brother. Silence hit the room like a physical force. Malik blinked. You're the governor's brother. Yes. Jada sat down slowly, stunned. So all this time, the man helping us is part of the most powerful family in the state. Marcus nodded once. And everything Slater did to you, everything he tried to bury, is now on my brother's desk. Malik felt dizzy. Why didn't you tell me? Because people treat you differently when they know your last name, Marcus said. They fear you. They distrust your motives. And I needed to see the truth without interference. Jada shook her head. You needed to see my brother get beaten again. Marcus winced. No, I needed to see how far Slater would go. And now the whole state will see it, too. He turned the phone's volume up. On screen, the governor stepped to the podium, expression grave, voice steady. Last night, the governor said, my office received disturbing evidence regarding misconduct involving Officer Derek Slater of the Brookridge Police Department. Reporters shouted questions. Cameras flashed. Malik's breath caught in his throat. Marcus watched him carefully. This is a beginning. The governor continued, we have opened a full internal investigation into Slater's history, including prior complaints, traffic stops, and uses of force. Additional evidence has emerged showing a repeated pattern of racial profiling and aggression toward black residents. Jada whispered, his actually saying it, on TV. Marcus nodded. My brother doesn't sugarcoat wrongdoing. The governor went on. Furthermore, we are launching an independent review of Brookridge Police Department practices, oversight structures, and complaint handling. Misconduct will be addressed transparently and thoroughly. A reporter shouted, Governor, what triggered this investigation now? The governor paused, a deliberate, meaningful pause. A concerned citizen brought it to my attention, he said. Someone who witnessed an assault and refused to stay silent. Jada turned slowly toward Marcus. Malik whispered, "It was you." Marcus didn't deny it. The press room erupted with more questions. The governor held up a hand. "Let me be clear. Every resident of this state, regardless of race, income, or neighborhood, deserves equal protection under the law. We will not tolerate abuse of power. We will not tolerate discrimination. And we will not allow bad actors to tarnish the integrity of an entire department." Malik felt tears sting his eyes, unbidden, unwelcome. He whispered, "Why me?" Marcus sat beside him. "Because Slater targeted you, and because sometimes injustice becomes impossible to ignore." Malik shook his head, voice shaking. "No. Why did you step in? Why involve yourself? You could have stayed in your world, your power, your privilege. Why risk all this?" Marcus's voice softened. "Because I saw myself in you. Because I grew up watching neighborhoods like yours get ignored. And because my brother may run the state, but even he needs someone to remind him what real people suffer." Malik swallowed hard. On the screen, the governor finished his statement. "We will hold those responsible accountable," he said, "no matter who they are." Marcus turned off the phone. The room was silent for a beat. Then Jada whispered, "So what happens now?" Marcus stood. "Now, the consequences begin." Malik sat trembling, overwhelmed. Marcus added quietly, "But Malik, understand something. This isn't over. Not for Slater, not for the department, and not for you." Malik looked up. "Why me? I never wanted to be part of something this big." "I know," Marcus said gently, "but the story reached you anyway." Jada took Malik's hand. Marcus stepped toward the door. "Rest for now. The storm's moving fast." He paused before leaving. "And Malik, when the world learns your name, I'll make sure they hear it with respect." The door closed behind him, and Malik realized the truth. He wasn't just a victim anymore. He was about to become the center of a scandal that would shake the entire state. By noon the next day, Brookridge wasn't just a town. It was a battlefield of opinions. Malik watched news vans clog the main street from his living room window. Reporters spoke into microphones, police cruisers parked defensively nearby, and people gathered in small clusters arguing, whispering, pointing. The governor's press conference had detonated like a bomb. Jada paced behind him. "They're everywhere. This is crazy." "It'll pass," Malik said quietly. "No, it won't," she replied. "This town doesn't pass. It festers." Before Malik could respond, a loud knock shook the door. Jada stiffened. "If that's Slater, I swear." Malik opened the door cautiously. It wasn't Slater. It was Denise, his co-worker, nervously pushing her glasses up her nose. "Hey, I heard you were home." "Come in," Malik said, surprised. She stepped inside, glancing around like the walls might be listening. "Are you okay? I saw the news. Everyone at the center is talking." "I'm hanging in," Malik said. Denise lowered her voice. "People are divided. Some are furious at Slater. Others think the governor is making an example out of him." Jada muttered, "Good." Denise continued, "But there's something else. Slater showed up at the station today. He's suspended." Malik exhaled shakily. "Suspended?" "For the moment," she said. "There's going to be a full investigation." Jada crossed her arms. "Let me guess. He wasn't happy." Denise shook her head. "He was raging, screaming about politics, about witch hunts, about how he's being targeted." Malik felt a chill. "Did he say anything about me?" Denise hesitated. "Yeah, he said this isn't over. That is not going down alone." Jada's voice hardened. "He's dangerous." "I know," Malik whispered. Before they could say more, the TV flashed to a breaking news segment. A reporter stood outside Brookridge Police Headquarters. Today, Officer Slater was placed on administrative leave pending investigation into multiple allegations, including excessive force and racial profiling. Sources also confirmed the involvement of the governor's office, as well as previously unreported connections between Slater and internal complaint suppression. Malik inhaled sharply. Jada muttered, "Good. Drag every one of his secrets into daylight." Denise squeezed Malik's shoulder gently. "Stay safe. And Malik, thank you for speaking up even when you didn't want to." He forced a tired smile. "I didn't do anything." "You survived," Denise said. "That's something." She left, but her words lingered. That evening, the sun dipped behind the rooftops, and the world outside shifted into a more dangerous quiet. Jada cooked dinner, the smell of rice and vegetables filling the house. Malik sat at the table, fingers tapping nervously. "Stop," Jada said without looking up. "You're shaking the whole table." "I can't sit still," Malik muttered. "I know." Another knock sounded at the door, gentler this time. Malik stood, tense. "If that's Slater." "It's not," came Marcus's voice from outside. Jada exhaled. "Let him in." Marcus entered, looking unusually tired but still immaculately dressed. His coat dripped faintly with evening mist, and his eyes were sharper than before. Malik faced him. "What now?" Marcus sat across from him. Slater's suspension became public faster than anticipated. There's pressure from every angle: civil rights groups, reporters, politicians, the police union. "Good," Jada said. "Let them feel it." Marcus continued calmly. "The union is defending Slater aggressively, but the evidence we have is strong." "Evidence?" Malik repeated. "You mean what he did to me?" "And what he did to others," Marcus said quietly. "Cases that were buried, edited, or ignored. Complaints that mysteriously vanished from records." Malik's stomach twisted. "He's done this before." Marcus nodded. "Multiple times." Jada whispered, "How is he still on the force?" "Protection," Marcus said. "Favor, silence. A system that rewarded aggression instead of accountability." Malik clenched his jaw. "And now they all pretend to be shocked." Marcus sighed. "Some are genuinely shocked. Some are pretending. Some are trying to shift blame. But none of that changes what happens next." Malik swallowed. "What does happen next?" Marcus leaned forward. "Slater is under a full internal investigation. The state investigation is separate, and a special prosecutor is being assigned." Jada's eyes widened. "That fast?" Marcus replied, "Public pressure works." Malik looked away. "I didn't want all this." "I know," Marcus said softly, "but the truth has weight, and now everyone feels it." Malik's voice broke. "I'm not a symbol. I didn't ask to be the face of anything." Marcus's tone softened. "Then don't be. You don't owe the world that. You only owe yourself the right to live without fear." Malik rubbed his eyes. "But they are already turning me into a headline, a story, a talking point." Marcus nodded. "That's why I came. To tell you something important." Jada stepped closer, suspicious. "What?" Marcus looked directly at Malik. "You will have to testify." "Silence," Malik whispered. "I figured." "You'll be protected," Marcus said. "My brother is arranging that." "I'm not scared of testifying," Malik said. "I'm scared of what comes after." Marcus nodded slowly. "You're right to be. Change isn't immediate, and justice doesn't heal trauma." Jada reached for Malik's hand. "We'll face it together." Malik's voice trembled. "Everything hurts. Not just my ribs. It's like I'm breaking in ways I can't explain." Marcus studied him with quiet empathy. "You're not breaking. You're feeling. And that's human." Malik stared at the table. "What if I'm not strong enough for what comes next?" Marcus shook his head. "Strength isn't about not breaking, Malik. It's about standing in your truth even when everything feels impossible." Jada squeezed his shoulder. Malik looked up at Marcus. "And Slater?" Marcus's voice turned steel. "Slater will face consequences. Real ones. But justice doesn't guarantee safety." "No," Marcus agreed. "But truth creates accountability. And accountability creates change." Malik swallowed hard. Then I'll testify. Jada's breath caught. Malik, I have to, he said gently. Not for the headlines. Not for the governor. For me. For everyone who went through this before. Marcus nodded, relief softening his expression. Then we moved forward. He stood to leave. Marcus, Malik said. Marcus paused. Malik met his eyes. Thank you. Marcus's voice dropped. I'm not done helping you, Malik. Not until this ends. The door closed behind him. Malik sat in the dim kitchen, surrounded by quiet, by fear, by hope, and by the weight of consequences finally beginning to turn. The courthouse was colder than Malik expected. Not physically, though the air conditioning hummed loudly, but emotionally. The walls felt sterile, indifferent, as if they had seen too many stories like his to carry any more. Jada sat beside him on the wooden bench, squeezing his hand. You ready? No, Malik whispered. But I'm going in anyway. She nodded, eyes softening. That's what strength looks like. The double doors opened. A clerk stepped out. Malik Turner. He inhaled slowly. That's me. Courtroom 3, please. Malik stood, every bruise reminding him of why he was here. Jada walked with him until they reached the doors, then hugged him fiercely. You're not alone, she said. Malik nodded. I know. Inside, the courtroom buzzed with quiet tension. Lawyers flipped through files. Reporters scribbled notes. A few community members sat in the back rows, some supportive, some stiff with resentment. At the defense table sat Officer Derek Slater, jaw clenched, hands cuffed. His eyes locked onto Malik instantly, cold, hateful, yet shaken. Slater muttered, "This is a joke." His attorney hushed him, but Slater kept glaring. Malik walked toward the witness stand, heart pounding. Marcus sat in the front row, posture straight, expression unreadable. When Malik passed him, Marcus whispered, "You've got this." Malik stepped onto the stand. The oath felt heavy, sacred. The prosecutor approached. Mr. Turner, can you describe what happened the night of the incident? Malik swallowed. Which time? The courtroom murmured. The prosecutor nodded sympathetically. Let's begin with the most recent incident, outside the community center. Malik breathed deeply. Then he spoke. He told them about the footsteps, the threats, the fists, the word boy, the pain, the fear, the helplessness. His voice trembled, broke, steadied, and trembled again. Slater scoffed loudly. I barely touched him. He's exaggerating. The judge shot him a warning glare. Officer Slater, one more interruption and you'll be removed. Slater muttered something under his breath, but fell silent. The prosecutor continued. Mr. Turner, did you provoke Officer Slater at any point? No, Malik said. I was just trying to go home. And did you resist arrest? Malik held Slater's stare. He wasn't arresting me. He was hurting me. A hush fell over the room. When cross-examination began, Slater's attorney tried to twist Malik's words, implying confusion, fear-driven exaggeration, misunderstanding. Malik answered calmly, truthfully, not perfectly, not polished, just honest. At one point, the attorney asked, Are you sure Officer Slater didn't perceive you as a threat? Malik looked directly at the jury. The only threat he saw was the color of my skin. Jada covered her mouth. Marcus closed his eyes for a moment, shaken by how much truth could fit into one sentence. After Malik stepped down, he sat beside Jada, trembling. Is it enough? It's the truth, she whispered. Truth is always enough. Marcus leaned closer. I'm proud of you. Malik exhaled shakily. I didn't do this for pride. I know, Marcus said. That's why it mattered. Hours later, the judge returned after deliberation on preliminary charges. The room stiffened. All rise. Everyone stood. The judge looked down at the paperwork, then addressed the room. Regarding Officer Derek Slater, given the evidence presented, including witness testimony, medical documentation, and prior records reopened during investigation, this court finds sufficient ground to formally charge him with assault, misconduct, and abuse of authority. Jada gasped. Slater erupted. This is political. This is a hit job. I'm the victim here. Bailiffs moved instantly. Sit down. He resisted for a moment, then gave up, breathing hard, rage shaking him. The judge struck the gavel. Officer Slater will be held pending further hearings. Malik felt his knees weaken with relief. Not triumph, not joy, just relief. Slater was being held accountable. Finally, but when he sat back down, the weight in his chest didn't vanish. Jada rested her head on his shoulder. You did it, she whispered. No, Malik said softly. I just told the truth. Marcus approached quietly once the room emptied. You okay? No, Malik said honestly. But I'm still standing. That's what matters, Marcus replied. Malik looked at him. What happens now? More hearings, more review, more work, Marcus said. Slater's not the last. He's just the first. Malik nodded slowly. Feels like the start of something bigger. It is, Marcus said. But that doesn't mean you have to carry it. The system failed you. Now the system must fix itself. Malik gazed at the emptying courtroom, the echo of justice still hanging in the air. It won't undo what he did. No, Marcus agreed softly, but it prevents him from doing it again. And what about me? Malik whispered. Marcus's expression softened. You heal. Not quickly, not perfectly, but you heal. Jada slipped her arm around Malik's. And you won't do it alone. Malik nodded. Outside, the sunset painted the sky in soft amber and bruised purple, colors that felt almost symbolic. Justice wasn't victory. Justice was survival. And Malik Turner had survived.